A very good evening, people. And I'm Meena Shah from Starchild Education and Learning. I'm an educator with nearly 4 decades of experience. And the purpose of the Learn with Starchild series is to share the collective knowledge of many. I believe that the collective knowledge of the various educators would definitely enlighten the lives of many. Thus, we invite people from educators, experts, from various domains of knowledge to share their knowledge with us. And today we have with us Sandhya Bhide. I'm just adding her on to the video now. A very, very warm welcome to you, Sandhya.
Thank you so much, Meena. I can feel the warmth coming direct from your heart.
Yes, thank you so much. And so let me introduce you. So Sandhya is the founder of Exceedable Solutions, Leadership Solutions. She is also a leadership facilitator for corporates, and she is very, very passionate about enabling leadership among young students. So today we are going to talk of leadership among, for children or for teenagers, right? So my first question to you, or rather, let me, when I look back at, say, my younger days, as a student, as a teenager, for me, my leaders were the monitors of my class. They were probably even the teachers, and maybe some of the freedom fighters, who we were taught about, say Gandhiji or Sardar Patel. We looked up at them with awe because we learned about them in history, and it was not very far away at that time, right? And even children who excelled in their work, who stood first in the class or first 5, those were my leaders. But I think the definition of leadership has changed. Has it changed today?
Oh, it has changed so much. I would say, Meena, that just like any other thing, which were at the time when we went to school, and those earlier days, compared to that, today most of the things have evolved. Businesses have evolved, education has evolved, our concepts and understanding and technology has been a great catalyst to this. Earlier, it used to take, say, anywhere more than 60 to 80 years for any kind of new thought or technology to travel across the world and get accepted among people. But we have been witness to the collapsing of time, and leadership definitely has taken lot of, I would say it has taken a quantum jump. Our understanding of leadership, and also more and more people looking at themselves as leaders. You rightly said, class monitors, student council students, teachers, freedom fighters from the history textbook, or probably the language books, because a lot of languages would have stories about freedom fighters. They were the only limited resources for us to understand or to even think about leadership. And the presentation also was such that it seemed to be a very distant concept. Oh, it's nice to learn and get inspired by leaders, but do I look at myself as a leader? I'm not very sure. We have gone through that phase in life.
Absolutely. So, how would you define leadership today?
Leadership is like if you look at leadership and if you look at different people, it's so easy to draw the analogy from the blind man and the elephant. Leadership talks to people the way they approach it in their minds and hearts. So leadership is a set of abilities. According to me, it is a set of abilities and skills. It is a set of behaviors.
Okay.
Maybe by virtue of my training in the program that I conduct, I am a staunch believer that where you came from need not define where you are going. So I may not be from a family of, I may not be a business family from a business family, or I may not be from a family of leaders, or I may not be a family from a, rather I may be a family from, say, chartered accountants, but then I choose to do something else, right? So it is about your behavior, it is about what you feel passionately for, it is about where you feel that you can bring about a difference in other people's lives. So leadership actually, Meena, it is a little difficult to pin, you know, one definition for it.
Yes, I
It keeps
understand.
changing.
Correct. So I mean, again, to go back to a little, in the past kind of a thing, we always learned that people were born leaders. So
Mm.
that means that is not so today, right? I mean, leadership can be taught.
When I take sessions with teenagers and school children, high school children and teenagers, generally in school, this is a very popular topic for debate and group discussion. Are leaders made or are they born? So I utilize this during the introduction session because it helps me understand where do I pick it up from when I'm talking to these young minds. So they say that yes, we have a lot of debate around this, a very popular topic. Essay, you have to write an essay, or you have to write a note, or you have to, in elocution competitions, you talk about it. So I said, can I give you a smart answer? You write it down, so you will come through as someone who's giving a very smart response to this question. They get very excited. Everyone wants to, all children, they just want to give smart answers these days. So I tell them that when someone asks you whether leaders are born or whether they are made, very confidently tell them, I do not know of a leader who is not born. That really sets them thinking. And then I say, okay, I'll repeat it for you. I do not know of a leader who is not born, which means that, yes, some qualities, just like, someone has got an ability, right, which is inborn, but that doesn't stop you from acquiring new qualities that you need or you think you want. If you decide to be a leader, if you aspire to be a leader, you just have to do a homework and find out what all do you need to learn to become that. Just like you aspire to become a musician, you learn what kind of music you like or what kind of music you would like to perform or produce. Do homework, find a teacher, look at the resources, look at who has already done that, just like you do it for anything else. Leadership is the same. So when you simplify the concept for them and when you let them know, I love the spark in their eyes, Meena, and as a teacher, I know you relate to that feeling. The spark in the eyes of the young children when they suddenly realize that it is possible for them also to become leaders. It's not a very distant or abstract concept. It is something which is very close. They can feel it, touch it, be it, rather.
Right. So that means leadership can be taught, and how can so I'll put the question another two parts of it, as in one as to how do you teach it, and what can parents do to teach them.
Okay, so both can be done parallel. That's the happy news about leadership. It can be done parallelly. It need not be because it is not an academic subject. It's a life subject, Meena.
It
So
is a life.
I look at it as I look at it as a life subject. It is not like you are attending a physics class or an algebra class. Of course, everything that you learn, you must try and apply it to real life situation, whatever it is that you learn. Even if it is a simple math or multiplication that you have learned, you have to immediately look at how you can apply it. Just like we learn a new word to increase our vocabulary, and then we make sentences immediately out of it so that we remember the usage, right? So answering your first question, how do I teach? So fortunately, I'm trained in something called the Student Leadership Challenge. Now, this is a program which is research based, and the research is on for the last 40 years on what are the behaviors that makes one a better leader. It's not on anybody's personal hunch, and it is definitely not abrasive and overwhelming that, oh, you need to be an orator, oh, you need to have a certain personality, oh, you need to have a certain body language. No, it's 30 behaviors, And I teach these 30 behaviors to through various activities. I've been doing it online, I've been doing it in person. It is about helping the child discover himself or herself. When they discover themselves, they stop comparing themselves. Today, the comparison is because someone is comparing them to others. They are not comparing themselves, right? They are hearing that they are being compared. But when we teach them to look at themselves in the right light, they learn that, oh, I have this strength. Let me focus on my strength and move ahead. So there are 30 behaviors, as I said, and there are 5 practices which these 30 behaviors they spring from these 5 practices. And these 5 practices are values. How to demonstrate or how to live a life where we are focused on aligning with our values, with our core values. Now, parents, families, of course, they pass on values, they pass on family culture, they pass on family values. But just like the print, of our thumb, we are all unique people. So our values are also, we have unique values, we have core values. The earlier we come to know what our core value is, even if we discover one value, it's enough for a whole lifetime. So children learn what are their core values, then they learn how to understand what are shared values, because leadership is about interacting with people around you. So if you align, if you look at people around and how to identify what are core values of the other person and check, oh, it's a shared value, then let us work together. It's easier to work together. There's a common language to work together. So,
Correct.
and aligning your actions, becoming more and more trustworthy, how to learn, how to behave in a way that you are able to attract trust from people around you, especially your siblings, your cousins, your parents. That's the first circuit for a child.
Yes.
And then, the friends, teachers, the society starts coming into picture. So that's values. At their age, giving them a vision. They're very high on energy. Very, very high on energy, but low on consciousness. So
True.
their energy needs a channelization, which we do through the second trait of leadership, which is vision. So help them see how they can become better.
Right.
Today, wherever they are, there is,
No, just repeating what you're saying. That first is to understand their own values, and second is
Yes,
the vision. And you are
vision.
explaining the vision part.
Yes, so when they learn to have a vision for themselves, that's just half the story. They also need to learn how to enlist people in their vision, how to help people look at what they are seeing as a vision.
Correct.
So that's a great activity, and I enjoy that because it really opens their mind, to so many possibilities which they had never considered earlier, which they never thought existed earlier. So then they start thinking about a lot of things which they have never thought of, which they never considered, or which they have parked saying that not now, when I become big, I'll do it.
Yes.
The third is innovation, how to have a growth mindset, making them feel comfortable with the fact that challenges will keep coming in life. No amount of protection from your parents, from your teachers, from your well-wishers is going to keep you absolutely 100% guaranteed safe from challenges. Some or the other challenge is definitely going to come. And when it comes, what do you do? Right? How do you look and how do you search for opportunities in those challenges? How it is possible. So we bring out a lot of stories from around the world. We ask them also to dig out stories so that their inbuilt self-belief, gets a boost. And we teach them a 3-step formula that if there is any challenge that comes to you, pick out a plain sheet of paper, pick up your pen and start writing and do this 3-step formula, which will help you navigate that particular challenge. The fourth is how to look at the good in other people. Because when you see the good in other people and let them know, their determination increases, their competency increases. So when people look at me and when people tell me that, oh, you do a good job when it comes to coaching children, my competency and determination increases, Meena. And as a teacher, you would have experienced yourself that when you recognize a child for the efforts the child has taken, or for anything that the child has done, and you let the child know, next time you start observing the child is making more efforts.
Absolutely. Encouragement and motivation, I think, go hand in hand,
Teacher or
right?
from people around them. Fourth is, how do you enable others? How do you create more leaders like that? Because you are gifting self-confidence by doing that.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
the fifth is the most easiest but the least practiced, encourage the heart. How to be a source of encouragement. So we take them to the third challenges, and we say the challenges are going to come, but for you and your friend they may come at different phases of your life. When your friend is feeling discouraged, how can you become a source of inspiration? Right? So these 5 things: values, vision, innovation, recognition, and contribution. So these 5 are like the pillars on which their leadership persona starts getting built. And how can parents help? Parents can help a big way, big way. There are several ways in which parents sabotage their children's leadership potential. First thing is, parents must learn to trust their children. Even in the face of situations where they know that the child has done a mistake or a mistake has occurred, even then, helping the child realize that it is something which can be taken care of next time. Something just happened recently. Yesterday, my son's class tests are going on. He's in 4th grade. Pratham is in 4th grade. He's 9 years old. And his class tests are going on. So every day he comes home and he practices for the next day's class. Yesterday, I was out the whole day for my work. I was out for on an assignment. Generally, I sit with him. I just sit by him, just for that confidence that he would. And yesterday, the boy took the liberty, the mice at play when the cat is away kind of a situation. And at the dinner table, he is very tense that, oh, I have not revised for my test. Okay. I have not revised and I didn't take my afternoon nap. I'm feeling sleepy now. I cannot sit now and read my book. Even if I read, I will not be able to, remember it. Oh, it's going to be so tough, this, that. So I'm sitting and I'm observing. I mean, as a parent, I have a choice, how I respond to this. I could have utilized the opportunity to really reprimand and, really make him feel bad about that. But then when I asked him that, okay, what do you think can be done now? What options do you have? So he says, see, I have a morning school. I have to leave home at about 6:45. So if I wake up 20 minutes earlier, I can do something about it. Right? So the point I'm trying to make here is, when you empower children by letting them navigate the challenges, small challenges. See, you are anyways there. You are anyways there. So rather than offering ready-made solutions, let children come with their own solution. Let children come up with solutions that match their understanding of the situation. Our understanding of their situation is totally different. It is a child who is in the eye of the storm. We are sitting outside and watching. But if this kind of empowerment is given, and today he came back from school and he says that, Mom, out of the six questions, I felt only one I was not able to answer properly, but five I did, and the ones which I did, I know I have done it right. So that added to his confidence, himself. So he was able to feel, he was able to process his emotions. In our wish to keep our child protected, Meena, unfortunately, we tend to speeden the process. We are not allowing our children to process their emotions.
I agree. I completely agree. This is so important, and I hope parents recognize it when they're listening to you, and they apply it. I really hope so.
No, and this is not something that even parents, today's parents, I'm not envious of them at all, because I think this is a generation which had to listen to their parents and which had to listen to their children also. Right? So it's not, I have my empathies, I have my sympathies with the current generation parents and the parenting also, that they feel very overwhelmed with. There is an overwhelm, but then that's when you go out and seek support from other parents, and you give assurance to other parents that, hey, we are in this together. Let's look at it one day at a time. It's fine. Right? So we have a school WhatsApp group where we have our mothers, and I'm so happy, Meena, for still from junior KG till fourth standard, more or less it's the same set of parents in that WhatsApp group, but not one episode of shaming each other or nothing, no negativity in that WhatsApp group. We know that there are working parents, single parents, and there are single parents also. There are working parents also. Both parents are working. There could be parents who could be challenged because they do not come from a English, educated institution, and therefore they may struggle with what the assignments are given. Or so sometimes it happens that busy moms, they don't see the earlier posts, and then they ask for the same thing again and again. But believe you me, Meena, when I say this, not once has any of us ever shown irritation that why can't you go and see, it is already posted kind of. There is always, mothers are always kind hearted. They will always help, because they know that when they are in need, they will get the help back. So our favorite line is, we are in this together, don't worry. So some child lost the science textbook on the eve of the exam. अभी क्या पढ़ाई कर सकते, मदर को कितना टेंशन होगा उसमें. So we took pictures and we sent it to her. Okay, you use this for revision. So we need to demonstrate, if we want our children to be compassionate, we want our children to be grow up as balanced adults, we need to demonstrate it to them as well. I can't be hyper and shouting on top of my voice 5 days in a week, and I expect my son to be very mellow and talk respectfully to others. I cannot expect that. It's just not possible.
So one has to be a role model also.
I think parents are the best suited to be role models, because they are on visibility, the maximum time for a child, even if it is working parents. Absolutely. Because children have this tendency to absorb energies. So even if it is working parents and they, it's only the weekends that you get more time with your child, the child is observing you. The child is looking at you, and unknowingly also the child is picking up your energies. The child is knowing that, okay, this is how it is happening. I always refer to this advertisement. I really don't remember the product, but it is like guests have come and the hosts are there. There's a young boy in the host family, and he's demonstrating his acting skills. So he says, Papa, office mein. And then he, acts like Papa is barking at everybody. And then Papa ghar mein is washing clothes. And it's so embarrassing for the parents there. So children do pick up. And one very important, what has worked for me, now I'm not saying that I am, the know-all, be-all of motherhood, but whatever leadership I have had to learn to teach, out of that, there is one practice which has helped me a lot. To instill confidence in children, especially very young children, hold their hands, don't hold their arms when you're leading them. even when you're crossing the road, or when you have to hold them in busy places or malls or stations, try to have their palm in your palm, rather than having the hand. We generally hold the hand like this and walk with our child. I have somehow seen that when children are held like this, they develop self-confidence rather than wanting to be led every time.
Correct.
They feel that's something that I don't know, scientific hai nahi hai bata nahi, but I've seen it work for my son, and I've seen it work for his cousins his age, and some of his children, from some of the children from school also. So I mean, if there's one advice that someone would come and ask me, this is one that I would tell them.
Okay. No. This was very, very interesting, and I mean, I'm sure parents who are listening in will apply a lot of all this that you have spoken of. So one last question is, so what has your experience been when you are, teaching children about leadership?
When, as I said, the first session is the most interesting one for me. From the second session onwards, the syllabus takes over.
Okay.
But the first session, sometimes it is like, oh, I've been pushed into some leadership class which my mom thinks I should do or my dad thinks I should do. I don't really, what leadership are you talking about? I can't even change the TV remote. No, I can't even take my own decisions, and you're calling me a leader. So they come with that, perception about themselves. So it's fun to know that, and it's fun to help them explore themselves. At the end of the first session itself, there is a self-belief. They go back with the feeling that, okay, I may be young now. I may not be able to do all that the adults are allowed to do today. But if I prepare myself, then I can have a more fulfilling experience of all that the adults are doing.
Correct.
Right. So they get that. So most of my students who have been with me and who are still with me, I keep telling them that I would want to live for so long that you come to me for advice on your grandchildren. I want to live that long, is what I tell them, because they come with they have got so much of depth of understanding. When I see them, I say that Darwin's law of evolution is definitely working. This generation is so much more evolved than the previous generation. And because they are evolved, they are setting the benchmarks. We cannot treat them with older molds. The molds have broken.
Yes,
We
I
cannot fit them.
completely agree on that. Yes.
We just cannot fit them in the mold. What we could tell them and what we could inspire them is help them become comfortable with their evolution. Because it's high energy. I mean, the amount of energy that they have, if we are able to, that's why we support them with vision. Because then all the energy is, towards the vision, building the vision, thinking about the vision, enlisting others into the vision. So that energy gets utilized there. And they also learn to create opportunities for themselves.
Correct. Which is
They
so
have the capabilities. Yes.
Which is so important, yes. And I guess the recognition of that also, I mean, comes in and therefore makes a huge difference in the end.
It absolutely makes. And the self-belief, more than anything else, I mean, if you ask me, parents come and parents seem to know their child so well, and I'm saying it in complete sarcasm, that they come and they tell so many things about their child, and oh, my child is like this, you'll find difficulty here, it's so stubborn, so this, so that. But there are also good things about my child, and so I'm like, okay, listening, I'm giving them a patient hearing. And I also let them know that I have a reputation of being friends with every generation of a single family. So I will not carry tales. Do not expect me to, talk on your behalf to your parents, and whatever the children share with me is between them and me. I'm not going to come back and I'm not going to talk to you about that. So there's a lot of, I think, relearning that happens at the parent level as well, Meena. And what I like is parents, when they come and they tell me that I can see a change in the behavior.
Right.
They say that, oh, my child is not doesn't bring the mobile phone to the dining table anymore, or I can see that my child is taking efforts to talk with the grandparents, to invest some time and spend some time with them, because I direct the children to talk about values with their grandparents.
So
So
very
these
important.
activities, so even if it is online, but then there are activities which they are supposed to do as homework and gain experience and come back. So this, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I do not do anything else. No, it's
Right.
only the leadership practices that I indulge in and I enjoy and I dive. And every day I learn something new about how people can be helped with self belief. What is it that will help people step into their self belief? In a very small way, Meena, this is how I'm trying to make the world a better place.
Yes, and you are doing a great job. I know that. So I feel so good. I'm so glad you came here today and that you shared so much with us. And like I said, I am sure it'll help a lot of people. So thank you
I hope
very,
so
very much,
too.
Sandhya. Thank you so much. And I hope, some other time again we come back and, learn from you.
Oh, we would, not only just learning from me, but from learning from you as well, Meena. And you sent the invitation with so much love wrapped around it. It's like, Al Capone giving an offer that I could not refuse. So anything that comes from you, Meena, will never be refused.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I think I will say goodbye now and end the video. So thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.